the switch, okay, and the
RJ45
RJ45
cable.
okay, we're going to connect that
So we're going to connect it to the port,
yeah, and the switch,
and the end of this cable
okay,
is to be connected to the laptop. So, if you connect it to the laptop, the laptop is networked through this connection. So no matter how many cables you connect to this, it will stay in one network. So this is the junction. So if you connect the Wi-Fi router, so if you connect the Wi-Fi router which has a connectivity cable, so if you network it, so this router is also connected to this switch. So if you connect a wireless laptop, like if you connect a laptop with the Wi-Fi, then it will be in one network. Okay, so this is the network for the PC. This is the PC cable. So if you,
which has been already connected to the PC.
Yes.
Yeah.
So once we network it, we can send data from this computer from here
to
this
switch,
laptop. Yeah,
through
to the switch to this.
switch to the laptop. Okay.
Yeah, so the data transmission is going through this.
Okay.
So this is the junction.
Yes.
So if we connect a laptop through Wi-Fi, for example, if we take the laptop and connect it to this SLT fiber, it will be joining to the network because the Wi-Fi is connected to the switch. Hello guys, so I'm here to show you the method to configure to a network. So as we showed in the before video, we connected a switch into the computer through the RJ45 cable. So there are many categories in the cables, but we use the RJ45, and as we seen, like it's not something once we connect the cable it is forming a network. So there is some configuration we have to do in order to make it a complete network. So first of all, after we connect the cables, we have to configure it in the computer. So first of all, we have to go to network settings, go to adapt options, and this is the Ethernet. This is the one that we use, the wired connection LAN. So we have to press properties, go to the IP version 4 because we used the version 4 protocol to the network. So we have to assign an IP. By assigning the IP, we have to give unique IP for each computer. For example, 192.168.1.20. so this has a unique IP with 20. So when we are connecting to a different PC, we have to change the IP. Just like our home address, each PC should have a unique IP. So we have to assign it. So this is the subnet mask, which is default. So once we give OK, we could see that we have applied the IP address to this. So in order to identify the network that these two computers are networked into a system, so we can identify it through the networks. So once we refresh it, we could see there are two computers connected in one network. So this is the best way to identify that PC is in a network. So we could try to find by accessing files. So we could access into the network. So since we could access into the network, we could transfer files within these two networks. We can add as much as networks as we wish. Like if we need in a small office, if we need to connect all the computers, this is the best and simple way to transfer files. So we could give access for every files. For example, if you need to hide this file, the movie file, if you didn't want the users to access this file, you can cancel it through your settings. So in order to hide those files, we have to shift into the second PC and show you the configurations and the network assignments and the way how to hide every file that is to be hidden in the network. In my second PC, so I have to show the configurations that is taken place into this network. So this is the second PC that was connected into the LAN. So as usual, we have to go to the network settings, go to the adapter options, and the Ethernet first. The Ethernet which has no variable. This is the Ethernet that we have to configure. So once I go to properties, the IP version 4, we have to assign an IP for this. So as in the before PC, we assigned 192.168.1.20. so on this we have to assign 1.21 because every single PC should have a unique IP address. So this is one of the unique IP address for this PC. So as we continue, as there are more PCs in a network, we have to use different kind of IPs. For example, for the PC3 we have to use 22, for the PC4 we have to use 25. We can mix it or jumble it in any manner we need, but the last number is the only thing that should be deferred. So as we apply it, it is assigned, the IP is assigned to the second network. So is the configuration that is done in the second network. So as I said before, we have to give permission for some particular files to hide. For example, as I said, the video file, which is the movie file, which should be hidden in the first video, could be hidden through this file because the movie file is assigned in this computer. So if we need, we could as we see, we could hide this entertainment file. So the F is an entertainment file, so we could hide it through cancelling the permission. So if we go to sharing, we could see there are many advanced settings. So through this icon is the thing that gives the permission to share the files. So if it is, we will be able to hide the file from the network, so the user cannot access the file F. So as you apply and give OK, once we log in through the first PC, we could check that the file F will be invisible in the network. So we have to shift into the first PC in order to show you the file F which is visible or not. I have shifted into the first PC in order to show you whether the file F, the local disk F, is visible in the network. So as you could see, you could go to my computers, go to networks. So this is the second PC that I was in the before video. So once we access it, we could see that the file F is invisible because I have given the permission not to access to the user. So since I have off the sharing, the file F will not be visible in the network. So it is something regarding to a safety issue. So if you need some files to be privatized, you could hide it without accessing through the network. So as we could see, this is a basic two computer connection system. So if you do the same step to other computers, if you need to connect multiple LANs, so you could do the same step to each computer and form a huge network. So for example, once your switch is finished, you could connect a cable to two switches in order to expand your connection. So once you connect two switches into one cable, the network of the LAN is expanded more, so you could connect more computers. So in order to find your IP address, your unique IP address faster, there are many methods. So one of the best method is go to CMD. This is the CMD panel. So you could type IP config. So you could see that this is your IP address assigned. So this is your unique IP address. This is your default gateway. This gateway will be default. Since this IP address is class C, since it's the third level class C, the default gateway rule is this 255.255.0 255.0. So in order to find that a computer is in this network, in order to find that a computer is connected to this, so we have to find out whether the second PC is active in this network. So in order to find it out, the best way is go to CMD, type ping, and type the IP address of the second PC. The IP address is which is assigned to the second PC, so it is 192.168.1.221. So we could see that the network is in this because the ping command sent some packets, some data packets, in order to identify whether the network is active in the second PC. So we could see that the loss is 0. Since the loss is 0, there is no any data that is lost through this network, so the network is completely full. So these are some best ways in order to analyze your network, like whether is your network functioning properly and does it affect you very well, does the data transfer go fast and everything. So we will be back in the third PC, which is we are going to connect it through wireless. Since in the first video that we connected the router into the switch, since we connected the router into the switch, we could connect any computer to the Wi-Fi. So once we connect the Wi-Fi through a wireless medium in the laptop will also be joined into this network, into this network family. So on the third PC, on the third laptop, we will show you how to connect the wireless medium in the network. So I'm in my third PC, so I'm going to connect this through wireless medium. As in the first video, we had connected a router into the switch. So first of all, we need to connect this laptop to the wireless medium Wi-Fi. So this is the router. This is the router that we are going to use in this network, which is connected to the switch. So once we connected, now we are connected. So we could find out that we are in this network. So as we could see, there are three PCs. This is the PC1, PC2, and the PC and the laptop 3. So in order to find out that we are in this network, as I said in before, we can see whether the PC1 and 2 are in this network. So we could find it out through CMD ping. This is the IP address of the first PC, 192.168.1.20. So we could see that this IP address is the first PC's IP address. We could see that it exists in this network. So if it is not existing, the loss of this ping command would be 100. Therefore, what it means is that there is no any data that is transferring through this network. So in order to find out the PC2, whether is it active in this network, we have to type the IP address of the second PC, 192.168.1.21. So as we could see, the loss is 0. Therefore, the data is transferring perfectly in this network. Through this, we could find out that there is no any data loss in this network. So as we could see, we have connected two computers in wired system and one computer through wireless medium. So this is the best and the perfect way in order to make a LAN connection.
So I'm here to brief you through everything that we have done so far. So we could see that there are three computers in this network. There are two computers which are connected through RJ45 cables, which is wired network. This is the switch and this is the router, the Wi-Fi router. So since this laptop is connected through wireless, the main reason how this became a wireless network is this laptop is connected to this Wi-Fi. So while this laptop is connected to this Wi-Fi, the Wi-Fi is connected to this switch. We have used a cable to connect this switch into the router. So when we connect this laptop to this Wi-Fi wirelessly, the laptop is automatically assigned to this network. Since the switch is the junction of the network, it manages and distributes all the data in the network.